Hello everybody, welcome to Rewrite Your Reality with Reese. I am your host, and today I'm going to explain assumptions and healing and how time is not linear, it is cyclical, of an experiencing of those assumptions, right? The cycle of your life, right? This idea was pretty cool. It came to me while I was just coming up with an idea for this explanation, actually, right? So the concept of healing and growth and identity transformation, that kind of thing, it's not linear, right? It's not about fixing what was broken endlessly or striving for a future better self. Instead, it's a circular experience of your life, right? It moves in like these weird loops of decisions and embodiment and so on and so forth. And have you ever really felt like that, where you met somebody, or you had a friendship, or you had a job thing, and it somehow unfolded in a way that was so similar to another version of reality that you experienced, and you couldn't even believe how similar it was? Like, you can't believe this is happening again. I can't believe this is happening again. I can't believe this is happening again. How many times have you actually said that? If you never said that, that's okay, right? You can still follow along. Because this idea is that your assumptions, your life, your experiences, they are not a point in time. It's not a point in space either. It's a point in experiencing itself, right? It's manifested as a point in space and time, okay? Your assumptions are not points in time. They are not points in space. What you are imagining is not that either. It's a point in experiencing of all reality, right? Manifested as a point in time and space for your experiencing of it. Otherwise, you couldn't, right? So I came up with this idea of a Ferris wheel. It's reminiscent of this idea, the idea of the wheel of life, samsara, in Hinduism. Actually, I don't know if there's a related Christianity Bible verse, but that's fine, right? So imagine you are the center of a Ferris wheel. I actually drew it. Imagine you are the center of a Ferris wheel, right? Try to get out of the way. Okay, cool. Right. You are the center of a Ferris wheel. That's you. But you don't really know that's you, right? At that point. It's quite funny. You don't really know that's you, okay? You have these assumptions. I am poor. I am heartbroken. I am unworthy. I am sad. And you're kind of just going around the circle. You're kind of just going around life. And then the first time you go around, you don't really know that you're thinking those things. You don't really know that you're assuming those things. You know you experienced it in that way. The second time you go around, why is this so familiar to me? Like, why is the sadness and this poorness and this unworthiness so familiar to me? Every single time I get a bill, I have the same thoughts. Every single time I meet someone new and it doesn't work out, I have the same thoughts. And the things that I fear keep happening, right? And you start to slowly realize, I'm thinking this, and then that which I'm thinking is happening. Why? Because what you are thinking is an assumption. Because you are thinking of it as an assumption. We have thoughts, and then we have thoughts that we think are going to happen. Those thoughts that we think are going to happen are typically your assumptions. I think I'm not going to get paid as much as I am worth, so I get paid less, right? I think I'm going to get a lot of bills that I won't be able to pay in time, so we experience that. I think that this relationship's not going to work out because, I'm not worthy of such a love, and then you break up. Because your assumptions are creating your life, and then sooner or later you realize, I keep on thinking this thing and it keeps on happening, what's going on? And then you start to slowly realize, I am actually the awareness behind life itself. What happens if I choose a new assumption? Or you just stumble upon, Christ's teachings, or Abraham Hicks's teachings, or Neville Goddard's teachings, or Reese's teachings. Right? And then you start to say, okay, well, what if I just do something different? What if I think something different? What if I just think some random bland thing? Because that also happens, right? Remember, life isn't only saying, oh, what negative thing are you thinking? I will manifest that for you right now. Oh, that was a lot. Right. It comes up with all sorts of things that you're thinking. Hey, I was just thinking about my friend and he called me. What's going on here? I was just thinking about my life falling apart. Oh, look, it fell apart. Right? And he's like, okay, What happens if I choose a new assumption? I choose a new assumption that I am awareness behind my life. I'm going to imagine actually being in love. I'm going to imagine being unworthy. And you can see from this point where you realize I am awareness, and then you just choose another assumption from here. I am love. I am worthy. Are you choosing assumptions, and then you're going through those assumptions, and then you start to live that life. And then something happens, right? You come back to this point where the old meets the new, right? Old meets the new. You're at this point again. Now what? Maybe I did it wrong. Maybe I'm assuming incorrectly. What do I do? Nothing. You choose again and you stay on that wheel and you keep going. You stay on this unfolding and you keep going. Like I said, it's not a point in space and time, it is a point in experience, right? Because this is not space and time. This is past when you go past it, but it's also a future when you go toward it. It's also now when you're experiencing it. Because it's all happening now, because it all must exist at the same time. As you can see, the wheel exists together. You're just experiencing one part of the wheel while consciously knowing you are the whole wheel. So when you get to that point, it is not a point of it's not a point of you failing. It's a point of you being able to choose a new assumption where this old one no longer fits the new bill. I am rich, I am worthy, I am in love, and you keep going. Or you can go back. But you can't go back to that old thing. You can go back to a version that is similar to it, which is what kept happening here, right? But why can you do this? Because you are a superimposed version of both wheels, or all wheels, right? Not just two, but an infinite number of assumptions and things you can make, but they're all typically I am or I am not, right? There's no real difference there, right? Everyone wants to experience what they're experiencing, but it's always going to be I am either experiencing that or I am not, and I am not doesn't exist. You can't not have a Ferris wheel of life that you are referring to. It doesn't exist, right? The thing that you are referring to exists, otherwise you couldn't refer to it. You can't refer to something that doesn't exist. You can't refer to absence other than absence, right? But nothing can be absent if you can contemplate it. So as I am awareness, you are superimposed to all those assumptions, right? It doesn't really matter which one it is. And they all exist right now, and you can choose them in every single moment because you are superimposed. You don't have to get off here and then jump on here, right? All these points are connected to one another. They superimpose one another, and the moment you choose it, you are on that wheel. Even if you come back to something that is similar to the old version, it doesn't matter. It's just a point of divergence, I would say, right? Diverging from the old assumption that I am not into the new one where I am. It's a point of choosing, because you're always choosing, right? So you choose a new identity. You say, I am healed, I am loved, I am welcome. And this feeling of healing is the contextual experience of changing your assumption to a new version of you, and reality unfolds it as if you are healing. When you are sick and you feel sick and then you want to get better, you assume that I am already better, a version of me exists, and then you experience being healed. But it's your assumption that changed. We don't typically hard set assume every moment of our life. That will get quite tedious, right? But that is what it is. Healing. Healing is the experience of a change in assumption, right? Here's the thing, it's on rotation. You come across your old one, like I said, right? You'll pass the card labeled, I am not enough, or I am rejected, I am separate. And as you do, it hits you. It really hits you. You really feel it. You really feel like you failed. You really feel like you did something wrong. You didn't. Right? Something you have been living all along that you didn't even know. You remember, you were looking at scenery from an assumption that you didn't even know you were doing until you chose something else, and then it came back to show you what you were doing. That's it. I think it's Neil Donald Walsh, in the absence of that which is that which, in the absence of that which is not, that which is not, basically means, if you don't know you are doing something, and then you changed from doing it, how would you know you were doing it in the first place, unless he came back and showed you what you were previously doing? Oh, actually it does, right? Cool. But I hope that makes sense, right? If you don't know what you were doing, and you chose to do something else, how would you actually know what you were doing unless it came back and showed you in the assumption of you doing what you are now doing as a choice? You wouldn't, right? you can't live obliviously and live consciously at the same time. Right? You can't live obliviously and consciously at the same time. If you are conscious, you are no longer oblivious to what you were living. That's it, right? So, a lot of knowledge bombs today. Yeah. You don't change the past, by the way. Like I said, both Ferris wheels just exist. All the Ferris wheels just exist. You don't have to battle it. You don't have to dismantle it. You don't have to do anything. It's just there spinning. It does nothing. Right? You meet it again and again and again, and you choose differently. You're always choosing now where you are in the wheel, right? And where you want to be and what you want to experience. And it automatically changes the past. Remember, because when you jump onto a new wheel of life, the past of that wheel exists, but the past gets back to you. You get back to it as a future. It's one idea. It's doing that, right? You are going to get to the one that you chose where you were because you were already there. You went from awareness to there, but no matter where you were unfolding into it, right? And when you were there, you chose a new one. That's typically why you see different facets of life unfolding when you choose new reality, when you choose a new identity, right? You see other people manifesting stuff and you think, why am I not living the life that I want? That's a mixture of understanding manifesting is a real thing and thinking other people are better off than you mixed together. Choose again, right? Then you're going around again and you go around again and you go around again. That's the cycle. That's samsara. That's the wheel of life. That's the Ferris wheel of life. That's Reese's roundabout. Got it. There's it. That's so good. Reese's roundabout. I love that. Okay, I need to remember that. Yeah. So, not in the right? Not in the religious sense of reincarnation, which is typically what samsara is talking about, but reincarnating as the identity you choose now, letting that old version die on the old wheel. Because it's no longer who you are. When I say that version dies, it dies, right? It literally splits off into the frames of reality that created. It literally dies. It's no longer a thing. It's no longer a tangible physical thing. It's dead. It's gone. It's effectively dismantled. If you took a movie and you broke it into all of the parts that created it, it's no longer that movie. It's a dismantled mess of itself. It's gone, right? So, you're always living a past as a life because what you are seeing is already past. Anything that's physically manifested is past. It's dead. It's gone. It's no longer you are no longer able to do anything with it, right? Your past isn't linear. It's cyclical. So, moving from all that, choose in your assumptions, choose again, especially when you get back to that new point meeting the old point. I mean, those are just terms, by the way. It's not really old. It's a assumption that you currently are aware of from a currently held new one, right? Chosen one, rather. So, yeah, wheel of assumptions, that's who you are. And basically that's what I wanted to say. Time is not linear. It is cyclical of an experience of all of it happening now. So whatever your assumptions are, they're going around and coming back to you. And you can choose them at any point, right? But the cycle is always rotating around you. Remember, you are the center of the Ferris wheel. You are every Ferris wheel. You are every carriage gondola, whatever, right? You are every one of those things. You are every one of those assumptions. My father's house has many mansions. Those are the mansions. The house is the Ferris wheel. However you want to say this, right? That is who you are. That is reality. That's it. So, said a mouthful there. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. Thank you for choosing me. That being said, thank you for the sharing and the love. Infinite light and love to you all. There is a Facebook group which is super growing. I love it, truly. If you want to join the community, post your own insights, ask questions, check up on blog posts that I make daily, more or less. It is daily, actually. And keep in touch. Please go for it. If you want any personal advice, personal coaching, you can email me. The description is in the box below. There's a TikTok page also growing. That being said, love, light, and I will see you all in the next one. Remember, you are on the Ferris wheel of life. What are you choosing as your experience?